Hi, I'm Shoestring Jane. Welcome back to my channel where I talk about all things thrifty, frugal and money saving. And it's New Year's Eve, so the last day of 2024. And like many people, I always feel the new year is a good time for a bit of a reset generally. I do make resolutions. I don't always stick to them, but I always go thinking I'll do this and I'll change that, but they're always achievable. I'm aiming for achievable resolutions. I did my resolutions already in one of my Vlogmas videos. I can't remember which one towards the end. So if you haven't watched my Vlogmas videos, I did one every day from the 1st of December up to Christmas Eve. And now I've had a bit of a break, so I haven't done one since then. I felt like I needed a bit of a break. It was really busy. There's lots of things going on. It's really hard also to video when I've got a house full of people. It's not a very big house. And there are places I could go to hide, but honestly, it was just busy and messy. And I don't know, other people who have grown up children wonder how they ever did it. Because obviously I had 3 girls and I did the whole little child thing with masses of toys and things that they have and Play-Doh and paint and all that sort of thing. And then I did the teen girl thing with all the clothes and the makeup and the hair straighteners and the friends that were always lying around and all of that. And now when they went, obviously I missed them, and then now they come back. I'm really pleased to see them. But after a few days, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't, how did I do this? How did I cope with this level of chaos and noise and mess and everybody fighting over the TV remote and the wash bin just piling up with stuff, you know, because they've all been here and they tend to leave a few clothes here, so they just stick them in the wash rather than having to transport them on the train. So I do often think that. And then when they go, I go, oh, that's nice. It's just a bit of peace. So I think because I'm so used to having my own company a lot now, it must be a getting older thing, mustn't it? I'm so used to having my own company that I do really like my own company. And I think I always have, but I used to do things like go and hide in the bath, have a long bath just to get a bit of peace and quiet when they were all living here. And obviously I don't do that now because I'm feeling like I'm more of a hostess because it's not really their home. They obviously welcome whenever they want, but they've never lived here. This is a different house. This is not the house they grew up in. So I feel like I'm the hostess, so I need to make some efforts and, you know, look after everybody and feed everybody and clear up after everybody and that kind of thing. So having said that, they were a brilliant help for Christmas dinner. They all did something to contribute, and me and Justin mainly did the washing up. But, you know, you have to do the thinking. I had to do the thinking and the planning and the buying of the food and all of that kind of thing. So as I say, it feels like it's time for a reset. I've been using up all the food. We didn't buy too much actually, so there was very little that went to waste. It all really got eaten, bar the massive trifle, which was just huge. So we didn't end up eating the Christmas pudding at all because it was such a big trifle, and we didn't eat all the Christmas trifle. We got sick of it, and I've just literally just thrown the last bit out now because the cream had gone funny. So if I made a trifle again, I would not use that recipe because it was just too big. I should have thought about it as I did it. Funnily enough, my sister made the same recipe and said the same thing. 2 blocks of jelly to make it. So you've already got a lot of jelly. I think I could have just done 1 and it would have been much better. So I've cleared the food, made sure we used everything up, and just done a bit of an inspection of the freezers and the fridge just to see what needs eating. I've done this week's meal plan. I've just popped to our local shops because I've got Archie today and Justin's not here, so I can't go and do a proper shop, but I don't need to. So I just thought I'll go around to the Co-op and see what yellow stickers they've got. So, and they did have some yellow stickers, of which I will show you the broccoli, because I do want to make some Stilton and broccoli soup. So that was my plan. I was looking for broccoli, but when I saw it was 20-30p, I thought, well, I'll actually get 3 lots. It looks perfect. It's going to last all week. We need some as vegetables anyway, and I'll use 2 lots to make broccoli and Stilton soup. I do only have 1 lot of Stilton, and they didn't have any Stilton reduced, so that's fine though. I can make just kind of a weak Stilton soup or make 1 broccoli and something else. I haven't decided yet. So that's what I'm going to do. My batch cooking plans. I have parsnips left over from the 8p veg that was at Lidl before Christmas. I have a swede left over for that. I won't use that for batch cooking though. I will use that this week, just instead of potatoes really, just to do some mashed swede for a change. Or maybe mash it up with some of the carrots and because I've got quite a lot of carrots as well, because I picked up several bags of carrots, parsnips. I only picked up one sweet because you don't eat a lot of that. Brussels sprouts, we used one of the bags on Christmas Day. I have one bag still in the fridge, and I gave a bag to Justin's mum because she likes them, and they were 8p. She wasn't going to get some 8p ones otherwise. So yeah, I'm going to do some soup. So I'm going to do a parsnip soup and a broccoli soup and fill up the freezer with things. So that's lunches sorted for the new year. So nice healthy food in there, so I can just have soups for lunch, because I do want to eat more healthily. Cut out all of the snacks. Now, we do have a pack of unopened biscuits and half a level of chocolate unopened biscuits, which I've just put out of the way because, we'll have some biscuits as we go throughout the year, but there's no reason why we need to eat those quickly. So I've just put them out of the way. We can have the odd treat. Sometimes it's nice to have a biscuit with coffee or something in the morning, isn't it? But I don't want to be eating a lot of those because I've said before, I've put on 3/4 of a stone, and I would like to lose 3/4 of a stone so I can comfortably do up all of my jeans. So I think if I look on the BMI scale, I'm still fine, but I collect it around my middle, and that's the worst place to collect it in terms of your health because of the fat in your body. So it's better to be pear-shaped than apple-shaped, isn't it, in terms of health? So I do need to get rid of it. So batch cooking is good because I can make sure I've got lots of healthy, unprocessed meals in the freezer. So I'm starting with the soups. The other thing as part of my kind of New Year's reset is the garage. I need to get in there and do a really good tidy up of the boxes, because I asked all my neighbours for boxes before Christmas. They all obliged. I've actually had loads and loads of boxes, which has been fantastic because I sell things online and I'm often looking for boxes, and I'm not going to buy them. I want to recycle packaging and boxes. So I've had loads of those. Plus, of course, I went to help my mum unpack. She finally got into her new flat. So I've taken away a lot of the packaging and a lot of the boxes for that too. So at the moment, they are all shoved in Justin's new shed and in my garage, where I keep all of my stock, so I can barely get to anything. So it's just a couple of hours spent flattening them and finding somewhere for them to live. So that's what I need to do, get it sorted so I can find a box when I need it. And the other thing I need to catch up on is my tax spreadsheet. So in theory, what I do is I do a monthly tax spreadsheet and I go through my expenses, and I've got it all on my spreadsheet. So when it comes to submitting my tax return at the end of the year, all of the figures are there and I don't have to go through boxes and boxes. Well, I haven't done any for maybe 5 months. I haven't even looked at it. I've kept all receipts, I chuck them in a box. I've obviously got records on my phone, on my computer, but it's more of a job then, isn't it? So it means I've got to go through everything, work out what I've spent, work out my profits and sort out my taxes. So I did pay last year's tax bill. I did that yesterday or the day before. And so that's always a bit of a wrench thing when it's gone. When you do pay as you earn and you're at work, you're working with someone, you see that the tax is gone, don't you, on your pay slip, but you don't have to say goodbye in a big lump all in one go. So that always hurts, but had to be done. So I've paid my tax bill. So I've done that, sorted. I do need to, as I say, get organised because it won't be long, it's the end of the tax year again in April, so I need to do that. What else have I got to do? Oh, I've been doing a laundry catch up. So I mentioned the girls all being here, the laundry bin getting really filled up, but the problem is we can't do any laundry when we've got a house full of people because there's nowhere to dry it. We don't have a tumble dryer. Obviously the weather's not been kind to us at all. It's been grey and miserable. It's actually perked up now, but all over Christmas it's just been a fog. We've just sat in a fog. It's almost like being in a cloud when you're at the top of a mountain. So things weren't even getting dry inside, but they certainly weren't going to get dry outside. So I had to wait till everybody had gone and did a massive laundry session, and I've had, some of it's dry now thankfully. I've had 3 airers up. I've yet to do the girls' room, so I've yet to do their bedding, so I've still got to do that, but no point in doing that. There's no rush for that. So work catch up. Well, yeah, that's what I'm doing now. So work catch up. So I do have a post I noticed to just come through I've got to do today, but it's just a very quick post. It only take me half an hour tops. And then I've got another one that will take me several hours to do, which I've got to do today. It's supposed to be by the end of the month today, but I thought I had better catch up with you first because I haven't spoken to my YouTube channel since Christmas Eve, so I thought I'd just do a little catch up. And I thought the other thing I thought I'd show you is just a couple of my favourite Christmas presents. So let's get those. And this is my absolute favourite Christmas present. So it's a leaf razor, and isn't that a thing of beauty? I've wanted one of these for a little while, and so I asked Justin to get it for me for Christmas, because honestly I'm not going to buy, I think it cost him £75. I did notice, because I went on to make sure I've got lots of blades for it. They came with one lot of spare blades, but I thought, no, I'm just going to stock up now, and found that there was a sale on. So there is a sale on this. I think they were £57. You have to make sure you go on the right site if you're in the UK though, because otherwise it will take you to the US site, which will ship to the UK, but then you've got quite high shipping costs and they start charging taxes on top. So I think if I tried to get it from there, it was going to be about another £14-15. So make sure it's a UK stockist. But honestly, this is such a good reusable razor, and I'm really hoping this is going to last me forever. And if you look at it, you see it moves about, so it's got a pivotal head, which means it works like a really good disposable razor. But all you have to dispose of are the blades, and there are 3 blades in here, so you get a good shave. And this was my old one. Now I've had this for about probably 6 years, or maybe even slightly longer, and it's a bamboo one, bamboo I think it's called, and you see it's quite well used and quite faded. And it was okay, but you can see it has no flexibility in the head, and you only have one blade in there, so you don't get a really close shave. And I found that as my eyesight has got worse and worse and worse, I've cut myself more and more and more. I do actually have to put my glasses on, which is hard when you're in the shower. And to do that, I didn't have to with this. I could just feel my way. I got to the point where I had to put my glasses on. If I was in the bath or the shower, they would get steamed up, couldn't really see. I was digging into my skin, I kept cutting my legs. And I thought, oh, enough is enough. You know, I've got good use out of this, but I felt like going back to disposables. I was using some of the girls' ones that they'd left behind and thinking, no, I don't want disposable razors. Single-use stuff is not my bag. So I invested in one of these. So it's a leaf razor. It's absolutely fabulous. I mean, I didn't have to get this colourful one, but it was no more expensive. And don't you think it's beautiful? It's very easy to take apart. You just unscrew it and then you slide out. You put each blade in separately, and it's very, very easy to do it. So probably less chance of cutting your finger than my old one that I used to do. So can't recommend this enough. Save up for it or ask for it for a Christmas or birthday present like I did. Really pleased with that. And I also got this book, which I've seen and sort of wanted for a while. I think it's been on my wish list for a little while. My Wild Year. It's by Jen Benson. And it kind of reminds me, well, I haven't read it yet. It reminds me a little bit of the Rain and Wind, the Salt Path. You know, she finds herself homeless. Let me read you this. With mounting debt, work demands and stress trampling over their desire to spend time together as a family, Jen and Sim Benson search for a simpler, more meaningful way of life. Finding themselves unable to afford their monthly rent, they decide the only way out is to give up their house and live in a tent for a year. With a baby and a toddler in tow, they become nomads around rural Britain, living and working under canvas. So I think, I mean, gosh, that sounds grim as hell. Can you imagine it? Living in a tent with a toddler in this weather, in our climate. Different if you're living somewhere sunny, because camping is fun. I always loved camping, and kids can just adapt to anything. But I'm really interested to see how they got on with this and the lessons they learned from it. But it's also kind of a real sign of the times, isn't it? When rents and mortgages are just unaffordably high for so many people now, that everybody's struggling to pay their rent and looking for different ways to live. And if that now has set them up, plus she's written a book out, so she's making a bit of money out of this as well. But if this has set them up for years to come, then it was probably a worthwhile and interesting experience. But I'll let you know what I think of this book once I've read it. And the other thing I got was, I wasn't expecting this one because I didn't realise Kate Atkinson had this one out. I love Kate Atkinson. I've read her books for years. The first one I read was Behind the Scenes at the Museum, and that was years and years ago, but I did really enjoy it. And I loved all of her detective ones. But this one is not. This one's a historical one set in 1926. So It's called Shrines of Gaiety. And I guess it's about, you look at the cover, it's very kind of 20s, isn't it? So I think that's going to be a fun read. But I've got such a big pile of books to read upstairs, so that I haven't finished. And I do this. Does anyone else do this? You get a book, you start reading it, think this is great, and then another book comes along, you think, oh, I'll just put that one there, let's have a little look at this. And before you know it, you've got 4 or 5 books that you've started reading and haven't finished and have lost the thread off. I do this all the time. So really, before I read anything else, I need to just settle and read the pile that I've started and get them finished. But having said I don't need any more books, we were on our walk yesterday and we have a little book giveaway point, and I spotted 2 in there. I thought, I can't leave these. Notes on a Nervous Planet by Matt Haig. I've read his novels. I've not read, this is not a novel, this is a non-fiction book. Midnight Library, absolutely beautiful book. If you haven't read it, I loved it so much. But I did it as part of my book group and they were divided. Not everybody loved it, but I absolutely loved it. I thought it was a great concept and it really made me think. I loved it. And I follow him on social media. He's a very interesting person. He suffers a lot with his mental health and talks about, he's had very bad suicidal thoughts in the past, and I think he tries to inspire people to show them that there's a way out. But Notes on a Nervous Planet, looking at sleep, news, social media, addiction, work and play, Matt Haig invites us to feel calmer, happier and question the habits of the digital age. This book might even change the way you spend your precious time on earth. Witty, honest and engaging. As somebody else has reviewed, Stephen Fry, take notes on a nervous planet twice daily, with or without food, crammed with wisdom, insight, love and wit. Guardian says, an honest and human guide to coping with the modern world. Oh my goodness, we all need a bit of help, don't we, with the modern world? So that's going to be a good one. I couldn't leave that down there. I'll take these back down there. When I've read them, I'll take them back along with others that I've finished reading. And this one was, I follow this guy on social media as well, Martin Dorey. No More Plastic. It has a foreword by Chris Packham. And it's all about just helping yourself avoid plastic as much as possible, and gives you the idea of the worst kind of plastic to use and what happens to it and that kind of thing. And I kind of I know a lot of this anyway. I know a lot of this. I'm trying very hard to avoid plastic where I can. All my cleanser and my moisturisers, my body lotion, it's all in glass now. I buy glass as much as I can. But I go to the refill shop for shampoo and conditioner. I've got a solid shampoo as well. But the groceries, I just have not cracked the groceries yet, because I go to Lidl and there's so much plastic. And because I'm on a budget, and I've found ways, with cosmetics, Willeda is really quite reasonable. You can buy it in glass. It's not hideously expensive. Some of them I just thought, these completely unaffordable. I can't, I can't. I got a Peace with the Wild voucher from my sister for Christmas. I was thinking, well, I'll get some body butter or something on there, and they're in tiny little containers. Some of them are even in plastic, and they're 30 quid. I'm thinking, no, I can't. I just can't afford to do that. So I'm looking for ways to make it affordable. I've started using the Milkman again. I'm buying my oat milk from the Milkman in glass bottles, which is great. And also I've discovered that he does glass bottles of orange juice. So great, doing both of those. I was buying the whole milk to make yogurt, and for some reason the Milkman's whole milk does not work to make yogurt. Why would it not work? I actually sent them an email and said, I don't understand why your milk, what do you do? Are they processing it, or are they not processing it? And the stuff I get from the supermarket in a plastic bottle, which works perfectly well for my yogurt, what has that been processed in some way? If anyone knows the answer to this, honestly, I would love to know, because it's very, very confusing. It's just milk, isn't it? It's supposed to just be whole milk. But I cannot get the one from the Milkman to make yogurt, so I've cancelled the whole milk. So I don't actually get any milk from my Milkman, but I use him to try and avoid some plastic elsewhere. So anyway, that's a bit of inspiration. I will read that. So I follow Martin Dorey. He's great on social media, Instagram, if you have a look at him. So 4 books there to add to my massive pile of books. And I would read a lot more, but I tend to be quite busy in the day, and then the time that I will go to read will be before bed. And if I'm really tired, I read a few pages and I'm like, dunk. Justin will peel the book off my face or something. So, you know, I need to get into keeping a book downstairs and maybe reading with my lunch rather than scrolling my phone or whatever. So I would, when Justin's not around, I definitely watch a lot less TV. So that's the time to read as well, isn't it? So just keep a couple of books downstairs in the lounge and then I'll get through more of them. Anyway, what else did I want to say? I think that was probably it. So I feel like I'm kind of, you know, it's coming to the end. I'm resetting for the new year. The other thing I really want to do today, but I'm not going to, I haven't got time, and also Justin being annoyed with me, is take down Christmas. So I always think when Christmas is over, that's it, it's over. I want to get all the Christmas decorations down, get it all put away and sorted. And I usually last until the day, the 2nd, and then I'll do it on the 2nd. I know you're supposed to wait until the 6th, aren't you? You're supposed to be away after Christmas, but I've just, you know, been there. Christmas is done. I'm done with Christmas. I want to get everything down and have a good clean behind everything. So for me, I would take, well, my daughter's the same as she will have taken it down. Hers will have probably come down on Boxing Day. But for me, it's still all around, but I would like to get it all down. So if I have time today, you never know, I might do some of it. I'll keep the tree up, but just get some of the bits and pieces down. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't know if anyone else like this. Just think, that's done, let's move on. I want to move on to the new year. Fresh start, turn over a page for 2025. Oh, the other thing if I've forgotten to mention is my money. So I have done my budget. I did say I might film it, but honestly, I didn't have time. So I've done my budget for January and included all of the things I need to think about for the year. So I've done that, and I've bought myself a year planner, which is on the wall upstairs, where anything important I'm going to put myself on there. So that might be start looking for car insurance deals, or it might be, I don't know, start doing Vlogmas, so that actually rather than filming everything in December for Vlogmas, I film it in November so that I don't find it all such a mad rush when Christmas is busy enough already. Those kind of things. So yeah, that's kind of the things I've been thinking about. Christmas was lovely. We saw all of the family, so it was busy. So we either had them here or we were traveling to see people elsewhere. We saw all of my family pretty much. I missed my nephew. But, and we saw all of Justin's family yesterday. That was really lovely. But, you know, his niece, Chelsea, she lives, it's nearly 2 hours away. So it's not something we do very often. But the traffic was fine. It was no fun. And she's got 2 little girls and they're absolutely adorable. So we had a nice day there yesterday. Yes, we've seen everybody. Haven't seen many friends, but I'm going to catch up with some of them next week. Anyway, that is pretty much it for today. It's just a kind of reset of 2024. Have a little think about how I want to go into 2025. As I say, I've already done my resolutions, and the biggest one of those is definitely for me to lose a bit of weight. But it's everybody's resolution, isn't it? So just going to buy sensibly, not have the food in the house, and then I won't eat so much rubbish. Let me know how your Christmas was, what your plans are for the new year. Do you also feel like you need to do a reset, or do you just kind of see it all as another day? And I should say, Happy New Year. So if you're doing something tonight, have a good night. We're just staying in. We do have a bottle of Prosecco, so we might just crack open the Prosecco, but we'll just be watching the fireworks on TV and hoping there are no fireworks around here because Archie's terrified of them. Anyway, whether you're staying in or going out, have a great night, and I'll see you in 2025. Thank you so much for watching, and bye for now.